Hello everybody and welcome back to the final round of 2024, the FIA Motocross World Championship and the MXGP of Castilla, La Mancha. My name's Paul Malin, alongside me from Fly Racing, Jason Thomas, and we will be bringing you the championship as it unrolls, because this one is going right the way down to the wire. MX2 Race 2 coming up next. Although, to be fair, Kay de Wolf does go in with a 23-point lead over Lucas Coenen, but we saw how nervy the Dutchman was in that first race. If he's nervous going into the first race with a 34-point lead, how nervous will he be going into race 2? Jason Thomas, it was a fascinating first race, wasn't it? But Lucas Coenen did exactly what he had to do. 17 race wins. We'll see the highlights in a minute. Adamo was second, Langenfelder third. De Wolf came home in 7th place.
Yeah, it all comes down to how does Kay de Wolf handle this moto, right? It should be fairly straightforward. He only needs a few points to secure this thing. I think Lucas Coenen is clear to go out and win the race, but Kay certainly looked nervous in race 1.
The riders just coming in from their sight lap then. We'll talk to a couple of people down on the grid in a few moments' time, but the fans have had an absolute treat this weekend because the weather is great, the racing has been good as well. Nice blue groove showing through in 1 or 2 places, and a little bit rocky, as you can see, but they've been riding this thing all weekend on now, so they know what to expect. But it's going to be interesting. If you're joining us for the first time, here is a quick look at the racetrack. 1550 long, just under a mile from the finish line through the first few corners, the bottom of the second downhill. That's the end of Sector 1. Sector 2 ends left-hand side of the circuit through that left-hander turn 11. And then Sector 3 ends on the what is actually a Monster Energy triple jump coming uphill, a few corners from the finish, and then of course the finish line is the end of the sector. It's red clay dirt in places, it's just clay dirt in other places. And the MX2 race highlights from race 1 coming up now. So if you weren't with us, why not? And it was an interesting, fascinating race and a nervy one for the championship leader. Lucas Coenen over on the inside gates here. Gate 3, Kay de Wolf, who didn't make a good jump. He was parked to the inside. He used that wisely though, but he still came out in around about 10th or 12th position. Thibault Benistant with his 3rd Fox holeshot of the year. He was under pressure immediately heading down the first hill from Simon Langenfelder, Carlos Raceless, and Lucas Coenen, who moved to the outside. He emerged in 2nd position as everyone else was a little bit cautious. Adamo got in on the act as well, found his way quickly into 4th with that move on Raceless. Conditions were still pretty wet. And he had his eyes towards the front, did Adamo, as did Lucas Coenen. He made this move on Benistant to take over the lead on lap 3 of 17, and from there, no one saw him. In fact, he was already getting ready for race 2 by the time he hit the checkered flag. Langenfelder then came under attack from Adamo. That was for 3rd at about the halfway point of the race. Adamo went after Benistant, that was for 2nd. Langenfelder also moved ahead into 3rd. Benistant eventually coming home in 4th. Those 2 laps at the head of the field were kind of nice, but wasn't to be. Did try to come back at Langenfelder, but Langenfelder just too good. So too was Lucas Coenen with its 17th race win of the season. Championship leader Kay de Wolf was 7th. So that's how race 1 went. And Lisa Leyland was down on the grid a few moments ago. She caught up with Andrea Adamo, the outgoing MX2 World Champion, and the newly crowned and youngest ever WMX World Champion, Lotte van Drunen.
So I'm just on the start of the final MX2 race of the 2024 season, but as always, let's catch up with a couple of the riders. Now, I want to speak to our WMX World Champion, Lotte van Drunen, who clinched the title a few weeks ago in Turkey. Lotte, has it sunk in yet? Have you processed what actually happened a few weeks ago?
Well, it took me a while, but yeah, it finally has. It's been amazing. You know, of course, being a world champion is something special, but to be the youngest as well makes it even more amazing.
Exactly. Well, you're here this weekend for the MXGP Awards, but since you got the title, I've seen on your social, you're getting pulled left, right and centre, media here, TV there. I mean, are you used to that kind of attention?
Well, yeah, pretty much. I've been in the media quite a lot since I was racing the boys, but now for being a world champion, it's even more. But I'm still enjoying it, so it's not too much yet. And yeah, I'm really enjoying being a world champion so far.
And I guess here being at a GP, you can relax a little bit more and be a spectator and actually enjoy the races without any pressure.
No pressure, yeah, that's really nice to feel. And yeah, to watch the last race and see all the champions become, and yeah, that's absolutely unbelievable.
Okay, well, nice to see you again and enjoy the rest of your day, Lotte. I'd like to speak now to our 2023 reigning MX2 world champion, Andrea Adamo, just to speak about that first race, Andrea. You struggled a little bit in the Ram qualifying race, but in that first race you seemed well placed. You finished in second, and honestly, is it fair to say that perhaps that's the best racing we've seen from you all year?
Not the best, but I would put on the best ones. Not the best because I've already, let's say, I've won 2 motos, so that ones were the best. But the effort, the style, let's say everything was on point. So yeah, I was pretty happy with my race. But now we have a second one, so let's try to forget the first one and let's go for the second one. We are here at the last GP of this season, so yeah, it will be important to let's say finish the year with a good result.
Exactly, to finish on a high. Do you feel that perhaps like now at this stage, you know, the pressure's off, you're not in the title fight, no expectations, can you ride a little bit more freely and like you said, just do your best, just looking forward to 2025? Yeah,
for sure. Actually, this year I didn't have so much pressure. Unfortunately, I would really love to be in the position of last year, but yeah, I was not so, didn't ride so much with pressure when other guys are doing it. Yeah. So yeah, for sure, it will be important to finish, like I said, on high and think about already next year.
Best of luck for the final race of the 2024 season. Good luck to all the guys. It's time for MX2 Race 2.
Let's take a look at the top 5 in the championship standings then. Heading into the final race, of course, the battle between the first 2 Husqvarna riders going down to the white, although Kay de Wolf has a 23-point advantage over his Belgian teammate Lucas Coenen. Langenfelder and Liam Everts, they're secure in 3rd and 4th place. Everts not here, of course. Mikkel Harp is 22 points clear of Andrea Adamo as they chase the top 5. Impressive for Monster Energy Triumph. Jason Thomas, slightly warmer conditions than we had yesterday. A lot more water has gone down in the break, the 1-hour break as well. So it's going to be slippery in 1 or 2 places early on. It will start to dry again, but a good start, as always, is critical. Lucas Coenen will get the first pick of the gates. Race 1, he said he was going to move a little bit further over, but he started on the inside. Those mind games played perfectly. He'll probably go there again, won't he?
Yeah, I can't imagine why he would move from there. He's had great success from there yesterday and today. And as to the track, better than yesterday, warmer conditions, but they've done a much better job keeping moisture in it regardless.
Andrea Adamo will go to the line 9th, head of Oriol Oliver. Just give you a quick rundown as well as these names just tick by. Lucas Coenen was victorious in race 1. Andrea Adamo came home 2nd ahead of Simon Langenfelder. Thibault Benistant was 4th. Ferruccio was 5th, his best of the season. Mikkel Harp, Kay de Wolf, Camden McClellan, Carlos Rachlis and Quentin Prunier. What is going through the mind of Kay de Wolf? Has anybody, and when I say anybody, has Ruben Terrelurn, his trainer or his mentor, had any kind of influence on the outcome of this race? Trying to keep him calm, keep the pressure at bay as he prepares for the biggest race of his life. He's 23 points clear. To lose it now would be a catastrophe. 23 points, 25 up for grabs. It's almost a done deal.
Yeah, and you ask what's going through his mind. I think far too many things. Everything that could possibly go wrong, unfortunately, I think is going through his head. But in the end, all he needs to do is stay out of trouble and just finish the race somewhere respectable. The rest will take care of itself. He's in the perfect position. Doesn't feel like it the way the weekend's gone for him, but he is in a great position.
Andrea Adamo would love to round out the season as the outgoing champion. Does not have a Grand Prix victory under his belt this year. Andrea Adamo, he was 2nd in race 1. He's going to have to put up a good challenge to Langenfelder and Lucas Coenen, who were the strongest riders. Lucas Coenen, though, was in a different class in that first race. No pressure on his shoulders. He's just the chaser, and he did a good job of doing that and came away with a victory by, 20 seconds at some point. He was very, very well clear, wasn't he? 22.7 seconds in the end. The Fly Racing 15-second board up for the final time in 2024. Who will be crowned world champion here in Spain? Lucas Coenen on the inside gate here. Another good jump for him, and de Wolf goes bar to bar, and it's de Wolf who comes out firing on all cylinders. He comes out with a Fox holeshot. Wow, what a response from de Wolf.
Yeah, really nice job there, and that takes so much pressure off of him. He doesn't need to win the race. It has nothing to do with that. He's not in a great position to win the overall in the day or anything, but all the bad things that can happen, the crashes, all the issues that go on in traffic. He can avoid all of that. If Lucas wants to go by, fine. But now he can kind of ride his own race, settle in, and avoid all of the drama that he had in race 1.
The only pitfalls that we have is a freshly watered track, might be a little bit slick in places for the first few laps, so we'll have to manage that situation as well at pace. Thibault Benistant there, third, just behind. Another good start for the Frenchman on the Monster Energy Yamaha, but it's Nastan Husqvarna's 1 and 2. Lucas Coenen exactly where he needs to be. Of course, Kay de Wolf has got him exactly where he needs to be as well, because now he can control that from behind, and if he just decides to let him go, then fine. He knows exactly now he's in a much better position. He's more relaxed, he's more comfortable, and I dare say more composed at this stage of the race.
Yeah, he's just so much more in control of his own destiny at this point. He doesn't have to deal with it. He was dealing with Monster Energy triumphs the entire race 1, right? He doesn't have to worry about any of those things, and the result in this particular race is irrelevant, right? He just needs a few points, and I think for him to go out and get the whole shot in race 2 speaks so much to the maturity that he's undergone. Now, he did not have a good race 1. I'm sure his mind was playing with so many games in between races about how poorly it went, all the things that can go wrong. For him to get a whole shot there, you could tell that he focused and did all the things. You mentioned what was Ruben in his ear telling him to stay calm. I think him being able to pull a whole shot there speaks to that, in spades.
Working our way towards the end of this first unofficial lap. Remember, finish line to finish line to get a lap time and a lap in the books, but it's Kay de Wolf exactly where he needs to be as he leads his teammate Lucas Coenen down the home straight for the first time. Looked over his left, Coenen was to his right. Coenen carrying more speed, more momentum, but it doesn't matter at this stage of the race if Coenen goes by, as he looks desperate to find his way past the number 74, his teammate Kay de Wolf, whose birthday is today, of course. What a present that would be if he crosses the line with a gold plate and a gold medal around his neck.
I wouldn't be surprised here if Lucas really starts to pressure him, if Kay just didn't move over a little bit, let him by. I know he doesn't want to. He's a racer. He's likely going to be a world champion, so that's a really difficult thing to kind of square in your own mind. But in the end, this race won't be remembered. No one will care what happens in this particular race. The championship will matter. So we'll see how he goes about it, but that would not surprise me.
Thibault Benistant in third, Mikkel Harp in fourth place, as he takes control of fifth in the championship, because his nearest challenger, 22 points behind, going into this race is Andrea Adamo. He's parked in ninth, the rider who finished second in race 1. So that one at the moment in favour of Mikkel Harp and the Monster Energy Triumph group. We mentioned it in race 1, JT. Still impressive, whichever way you look at it. Yeah,
they've been great all year. I think it's so understated how much development has gone on for these teams, and you look at the Austrian group, regardless, KTMs have been on top of the MX2 class and forever, right? And to have a first-year bike be battling with them all the way down the stretch speaks volumes to the development they've done already.
Working our way towards the end of the first lap then, official lap, as the two leaders come into land. Thibault Benistant not letting them off the hook, the 1.198 seconds behind Coenen as he hit the last split there on that blue machine. Hart fourth, Racialist 5, Oliver, the WZ Racing KTM rider. Good start for him in 6th, Eder Zenke, Langenfelder, Adamo, and Quentin Prunier. McClellan in 11th position. De Wolf, fastest lap, followed by Coenen, fastest lap, followed by Benistant, the fastest of the top 3, and the fastest early lap of the race. Race 1, incidentally, was the fastest lap by Kay de Wolf in lap 14, a 1:53.717.
See Lucas going anywhere that Kay is not for 2 reasons. 1, he wants to be able to make the pass, and you can't make the pass if you're right behind them. And 2, he's trying to avoid the roost. There's so many rocks and there's so much loose dirt right now, and that equals roost. He's just trying to avoid that at all costs. 1 for pain and 2 for vision as well.
Coenen dives decisively down the inside. Kay de Wolf lets him have it, takes a look back as well, gets up on the pegs and says, you know what? I'm doing exactly what I need to do now. I've led at the front. I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm just going to ride this one out. But you know what? When you ride like that, that's going to be a long 25 minutes plus 2 laps. Thinking about all these little things, every little rattle on the bike. Watch this here. Coenen dives down the inside. De Wolf knew he was there. And then once he made the move here, he just sort of looked back, got up on the pegs and said, right, I'm in cruise mode. You do you. I'll focus on me. Thibault comes by me. If Harp comes by me, fine, let them come by me. I'm here to win this championship, and that is the big picture.
Yeah, you see Lucas looking around a lot. I wonder how he's going to go about this race. These two are not great friends, right? There's a lot of competitiveness between these two. They both fancy themselves as the best MX2 rider in the field, regardless of what the points say. So yeah, I think that was also a signal from Lucas, like, hey, I'm going to ride away from you now. You know, and I think that's what will also drive Lucas in the future. He wants to be that guy. He has that chip on his shoulder, and you kind of see from those moments that coming through.
Thibault Benistant then knows what's at stake ahead of him. He knows that Kay de Wolf is likely to be chasing this World Championship. He'll get it done in this second race. Yeah, there's 5 minutes left. But Thibault Benistant eyeing up a podium at the moment. He's second overall. If you put the flag out now with a 4-3, de Wolf would be third overall with a 7-2. And Adamo a couple of seconds further back, so de Wolf might even not finish on the podium here this weekend. But like you say, the bigger picture, the podium, that can wait for another year. It's the title that he wants. It's the title he's chasing. It's all but in his back pocket coming into this final race with a 23-point buffer over his teammate. Oliver still 6, Zanke 7, Langenfelder, Adamo, Prunier, McClellan, Carsmakers, Jens Wolvort, David Braceras, Samuel Nilsson has just moved up ahead of Federico Tuani into the top 15. So little or no change then, just 1 or 2 positions here or there for Nilsson. Thibault Benistant, he was impressive in the early stages of race 1, wasn't he? And I just wonder whether he went a little bit too hard too soon. Saw Mikkel Harp behind the gate before the gate dropped, just kind of banging his forearms a little bit, you know, maybe just to shake out the remnants of potential arm pump.
Yeah, and this track forces you to hold on incredibly tight. Just because you're fighting traction the whole time, you can't really let the bike float and do the things it wants to do. So arm pump on a track like this is almost a given or a prerequisite.
Well, Coenen was fastest on the last lap at 1:55.571. He's just gone sector 1 and 2 purple. So the fastest times so far, as he just extends his lead over Kay de Wolf to 3 seconds as it stands right now. Thibault Benistant still working his way into full race fitness after being missing from the French Grand Prix earlier this year. We didn't see him until Switzerland 2 or 3 rounds ago. Harp trying to do his bit as well, but as it stands right now, Mikkel Harp will be finishing 5th overall in the 2024 season. His best finish before he heads north into MXGP next year. But this is the kind of composure that we expected from Kay de Wolf in race 1. But the start let him down, and then he was always fighting and almost second-guessing what people were going to do around him. It made him very nervy, very on edge. And we can see that in his riding. He looks at least a little bit more fluid now, more relaxed, more settled.
Yeah, much better lap that time. Got under a 1:55. The lap before was 1:58, which made me a little nervous. You could see traffic backing up behind him. Not that the championship would be in doubt because of that, but the last thing he wants to do is get into that same dogfight where there's riders everywhere all around him, which could spell trouble. So if he can hold this 1:55 lap time and keep those guys at bay where they're not really pressuring him, that's kind of the sweet spot. Of course, he'd love to be right on Lucas's rear wheel, which would pull him away from that pack, but that would also require him upping the risk ratio. He'd have to be pushing traction, be taking a lot of risks, and that is really not the job at hand right now, right? He needs to stay comfortable and bring this thing home.
Simon Langenfelder has gone missing. That looks like it's turn 1. So Langenfelder down to 13th place then. Just as well, he's not chasing the medals this weekend.
And kind of single file behind him. If this were a tighter championship fight, this would be a very nerve-wracking situation for de Wolf because there are a lot of riders that could pass him in quick succession here if he made a mistake. But really the job is he just needs to stay upright. At this point, if he can just finish the event in some sort of respectable position, that's all he needs to do. So I don't think you'll see him really take big risks, turn in any sort of quickest lap of the race or anything like that, nor should he be trying to.
Good to see Oriol Oliver just here, WZ Racing KTM in the fluoro, the 51. He's in 6th position at the moment. Came into this weekend 12th in the championship, chasing Benistant, 13 points behind the Frenchman. He's going to be 12th in the standings as it stays right now, but just needs a good result just to set him up with confidence for next year, just to build on that.
Next weekend, too.
Next weekend is too for Team Spain.
The ask, he's going to have a 1-time, possibly 2-time MXGP world champion on his team, Ruben Fernandez, who is always capable, and he is that guy that they're all looking at, hey, can you get us one solid result on Sunday that could set us up for a chance at a podium?
Frucho Zanchi making it difficult for him, and he loses the front end in there as well, costs him some time, and Zanchi goes through. Zanchi now up in the 6th. Zanchi's having a very good Grand Prix here this weekend, isn't he? He was 5th in race 1, his best finish in his MX2 career so far. And he's following up here with another strong performance in this 2nd race. Obviously, doesn't mind these hard pack conditions, very much like they get at home in Italy.
Yeah, and he's really impressed me. Even at Adamo was really the first time I paid a lot of attention to him on a surface that you wouldn't expect him to really excel on. The versatility, to me, is what's important, because if you're going to be serious about chasing the World Championship and being relevant, you can't have these outlier weaknesses. You have to be able to at least be respectable on every surface. This is about as far from Adamo as you could get, and here he is still running around that top 5.
Geographically as well.
Yeah, yeah, and just everything about it, the way you approach it, your racecraft, the ask on your body, all those things. But, ask MXGP world champions, Roman Federer. They've done everything they can to shore up weaknesses, so it's really important at this stage of their development to figure out every type of surface.
So Zanchi then up into 6th place as Oliver fight in the front through that final turn, dropping back down onto the start straight, under pressure now from Adamo. Adamo in 8th, so he's making progress here. Would love to go out on a high, certainly on the podium. He's 4th overall, a point behind Kai de Wolf as it stands right now. Obviously, he's got a couple of riders ahead of him that he could pick off in the next 18 minutes plus 2. And if he does that, then he's all but guaranteed a podium at the final round of the season. In a season where podiums have not been well, they've been few and far between, haven't they? It's not been plentiful in that respect.
Yeah, he needs to get his confidence back. Just kind of remember, he's a world champion. He's the defending world champion in this class. And at times this year, he hasn't really ridden up to that.
Simon Langenfelder has found his way back into 11th after his fall. Made his move on cars makers. So Langenfelder then up into that 11th place. Same part of the racetrack where he fell. Not having a bearing on the overall Grand Prix or championship classification. That move Langenfelder just putting there on Kai Cars Makers on the Fantic.
Yeah, he's going to be kicking himself if he can't move up the field, because he had a podium set up for today. De Wolf's, that's not where his head is at all for a podium today, and the door is open for. And yeah, we'll see what he can do the rest of this race, but that was a pretty painful mistake for him.
Yeah, 3rd in race 1, just very costly one in the wallet, maybe, when the checkered flag flies. But Coenen managing his expectations and managing the race perfectly. Already 11 seconds clear before the halfway stage. Race 1 was a 17-lapper. He's already set the fastest lap of the race so far. He'll be picking up the Acerbis fastest lap of the year award later on at the In-Front Motor Racing Awards, which you'll be able to watch live between 8 and 9 with me and Lisa Leyland. But he's been pretty impressive in that respect, has the number 96.
Yeah, we're not even to halfway yet. He's already at a 11-second lead, turning 2 seconds plus faster than anybody else on the racetrack. And, for him, he knew the situation coming in for the championship, but I think he's just going out to try to send a message like, hey, yes, had mistakes, but I can win on any given day. And what else can you do? He said all he can do is go out and win every single time on the weekend, let the cards fall where they may, and that's exactly what he's done.
And just like race 1, he does look like he's riding a different racetrack. He's not fighting the bike. His line choice is impeccable. And he's making it look so easy, where others are just, struggling in one way or another, whether it is their line choice or, suspension-wise or traction-wise or whatever. A lot of that is also to do with the fact they're in traffic and trying to ride different lines on the racetrack and fighting the bike, fighting themselves, fighting the rider ahead of them or behind them as they go defensive. So, yeah, a lot of things going on for everybody else, apart from Lucas Coenen, who's just out there minding his own business, and the rest is taking care of itself. Yeah,
what I really like to see from Coenen is he doesn't really look like he's going fast. The effort level doesn't look over the line. He doesn't look like he's being aggressive. Sometimes you watch riders and you're like, wow, I can see how fast they're going. They're on the edge of control at all times. Coenen's not doing any of that, and he's still 2 seconds faster than anybody else on the racetrack. That's a sign of his skill set improving. He's riding well within his limits. He looks like he's actually going slow, which means he's being really patient, but to your point, he's putting lines together that nobody else is. He's finding traction in places that other riders aren't, and that's all equaling huge gaps in time lap after lap. And that's only going to serve him better and better as he progresses, moves into MXGP one day. He's going to be a much better rider because of that when he gets to a 450.
Lucas Coenen continues to dominate this race then. He was victorious in the RAM qualifying race and the first race. Knew he had to come here to win all 3 races to have any shot at being crowned MX2 World Champion. Of course, the rest of that depended on his teammate, Kai de Wolf, who was 7th in race 1. He's currently 2nd in race 2, doing enough to be crowned World Champion. And he's only, 1.5 seconds clear of Thibault Benistant at the moment. Again, doesn't matter if Thibault Benistant goes by him or Harrop. But the final podium positions of this 2024 season for this final Grand Prix are still up for grabs as well. De Wolf on 36 points, Adamo on 35, Harrop on 33. Harrop currently circulating in 4th place. Braceras, that doesn't look like a fall, that looks like a technical. The team have had so many issues this year, you know, and it's just unfortunate. But Braceras out of the race, out of his final home Grand Prix of the season.
Track's in pretty good condition.
Yeah.
Compared to yesterday, I thought we were in for a long Sunday, and they've done a great job of kind of bringing it back to life. You see there's traction, there's inside, there's outside. Yes, it is hardback. Yes, there are square edges. It's rocky. But after yesterday, I really was worried about what this conditions would be today. They've done a great job.
We mentioned that in the first race, though. There was a lot more moisture in the ground. I'm sure they'll manage to get a little bit more down in places ahead of MXGP race 2 as well. But Adamo coming unstuck here. The 51 of Oriol Oliver, the Spanish rider, proving a tough nut to crack. So Adamo just getting closer, trying to rub him up the wrong way, show him a little half a wheel here, a front fender there, just to let him know that he's mean in business and wants to come through sooner rather than later.
Yeah, there's a track in the U.S. Called Hangtown, staple of the series. They've been racing there for 50 years. Before they started bringing in outside soil, this is exactly what Hangtown used to be like.
There's
hard,
Adamo
rocky.
just charging down the inside. He does take that position away.
Yeah, but it's a constant search for traction, and they've done a good job of helping the riders out. You can see how much more moisture they have in the racetrack today, but it reminds me of riding that, where you can't be too aggressive. The more aggressive you are, likely the slower you're going to go. But I just want to give credit to the track crew because this was a really tough ask chasing it after yesterday.
Yeah, they had a long night. Sleepless one, just trying to get everything ready, but we arrived here this morning, completely different racetrack, as you say, a lot more moisture, ripped again, freshly ripped. And but it's always a balancing act, isn't it? You come somewhere for the first time. Do you go one way first and then the other, or what? But I think maybe they just erred on the side of caution. Caution was kind of needed a bit more, if you like. And as we say, come race day, traction more a premium, riders more free to, choose lines and things like that. Like that corner yesterday, there were so many deep, hard ruts, just that the riders couldn't get out of. And yeah, credit where credit is due. 11 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Lucas Coenen continues to lead De Wolf, who still has close company in the form of Thibault Benistant. Andrea Adamo here has found his way past Oliver. We saw that a moment ago. He's now closing in on Ferruccio Zanchi for 6th place. So the two Italians here. The lead Italian on that Team HRC, the red Honda there from the number 73. As Adamo now starts to home in. He rode pretty decent in the first race as well, didn't he? Got himself quickly into 4th, eventually came home in 2nd. And he's kind of come, it's almost like now, for the whole season, he's been defending the championship, even though he's been in, 5th, 6th, 7th place. He likes that inside, not working for him this time. And now coming into this weekend, it's almost as if, well, I know Kai de Wolf is going to take my crown, so ride a little bit more free, a little bit more relaxed. As he goes down the inside of Zanchi, can he pick his way into 6th? Not at the first time, but the second time of asking he does in that turn. Adamo now up into 6th place.
Yeah, it's just one of those, I think for Adamo it is the, heavy as the head that wears the crown type thing. that comes with expectation, that comes with the pressure of defending something like that. And he looked like that many times this season. He just did not look like he was able to ride freely or without any of that pressure. So hopefully going back to that situation this weekend and again in 2025, he'll be able to find that aggression, and hopefully things will go his way. That was one of the big things I noticed in 2024. Nothing went his way. Where things kind of came easy, other riders were having trouble and he wasn't. It was very opposite of that in 2024.
And now Adamo starting to pull clear. He set his fastest lap last time around. And that pass, so these passes here, Andrea Adamo, the first one on Oriol Oliver, which got him into 7th. And then just a moment ago, his pass on Ferruccio Zanchi, getting him into 6th, puts him in podium position, 3rd overall, on 37 points, bumping De Wolf down to 4th place. Oh, doesn't need any more of that, though. And it looks like he's going to find his way past the 47 of Carlos Racelis as well, pretty imminently, because Adamo's last lap was a 53.4, Racelis at 55.05. So the Latvian under pressure here as Adamo closes in very, very quickly. And I sense an opportunity down into turn 1, JT.
Yeah, turning great lap times out. He was quickest on track last lap. I'm sure Coenen has kind of settled in here, but still, his pace is really impressive here. So I don't know how much further he can move up. Maybe he could go try to chase down, Harup and Benistant ahead of him. But the pace is the important thing. If you can maintain this pace and continue to turn 153s, everything else is possible.
That was a fantastic move. He cut back to the inside. Going into turn 1, got on the gas a lot earlier. His corner speed was immense through there compared to Racelis, and he was able to keep to the left and then drop it across the top of him into the next right-hander. Good ride in that from Adamo, who's now up in a 5th place.
Yeah, he's really making a lot of time exiting, going onto the start straight. He's cutting down, going outside early, cutting down, carrying a lot of speed in. Whether he can make the pass or not in that first corner, we saw that time he didn't even make it. He cut back after the first corner and still was able to execute the pass. But all of that is set up from the time he's making exiting the corner after the finish.
Yeah, he's barely put a wheel wrong, has he? Just not been great out of the start this weekend.
He looks really comfortable, right? You see him firmly planning and pivoting like without hesitation. That's a sign that he feels comfortable. Watch a lot of these other riders, they just seem like they're not sure exactly if they put their tire there, is it going to stick or not. It's just a very different look from Adamo than many of the other riders.
Impressive performance once again from Lucas Coenen in 2024. He got a double race win in France and Germany, doing that back-to-back. He was a double race winner again at the 2nd of the Indonesian rounds in Lombok. He did the same again in Sweden. And then back-to-back, the last 2 rounds, Turkey and China. He's looking at his 7th double race victory of the season. Not bad going.
Yeah, he's having a great day, right? And you can tell his situation was really straightforward. There is no pressure. Just go out and try to win the race. And I think that's where he excels, right? He views races in a binary fashion. It's either win or something goes wrong and I don't win. And when the only course of action is to win, you see what happens.
Kai de Wolf still with Thibault Benistant behind him. Says all you need to know, doesn't it? De Wolf, 20 points clear with 6.5 minutes to go. It's his race, or his championship to lose now from here on out. But he's done all the hard work, hasn't he, throughout the season. His bad days were better than the bad days of Lucas Coenen, and that has been the telltale.
Yeah, and he's done a great job here in race 2, right? It would be very easy for him to fall into the trappings of that he did in race 1. Got the start, put in solid laps, built a little gap, and now he's just able to ride. He can just put in lap after lap. He doesn't have to take any risk. And this is a very mature ride for him in race 2.
So as we focus on Kai de Wolf, Quinton Prunier up the inside of Oliver. Yeah, takes away the Spanish rider. Where is he? 8th place now, Prunier. So good inside move that, but the door was left open by Oriol. Adamo getting closer to Mikkel Hart. This is for 4th place. Adamo, the lone Red Bull KTM rider this weekend.
This would be for 2nd overall here as well.
Yeah, Thibault Benistant holding on to 2nd at the moment. He's on 38, Adamo on 38, De Wolf on 36. So a big pass coming up for Adamo in terms of his podium count this year. As we said, hasn't been a vintage performance for him. Pretty hard to follow up, though, a season where you were crowned world champion last year and everything else that had to offer. But in terms of podiums, just 6 for the season this year for Adamo.
Yeah, he closes up there. He probably made half a second through that section that he's had so figured out there. And it's subtle. It's line choice. It's entry angle. He's actually getting more traction by pivoting off that berm. But on a track like this where traction's at a premium, those little nuances are how you make up time.
Yeah, as he charges downhill, he knows it's just a matter of time before he finds his way past Mikkel Harup, who just drops to the outside line just to prevent that pass from coming. These two fighting over 5th place in the championship. Harup has it at the moment. And as we headed into race 2, he had a 22-point buffer. So that's going to be 24. But even if Adamo goes by, Harup, number 11, will still round out the season in 5th place. And he'll be pleased with that. But just almost sort of flexing his muscles a little bit just to keep Adamo at bay. Just say, look, I know you're in 6th place in the championship, but I'm 5th. I want to just round out, finish ahead of you if I can. Just to, hammer home the point, if you like.
Yeah, and that podium overall, moving from 3rd to 2nd, that's a big deal. Not only the financial rewards of it, but just confirmation that, hey, we're back on track. 2025, I can still do this. Going into Motocross of Nations, have some momentum. There's a lot at stake, more than just the singular pass on the racetrack.
This town of Kozar has never seen so much traffic parked out there in the car park. There's several around here, but that one at the bottom end of the circuit, it's not the biggest town, is it, Kozar? Narrow streets, typical Spanish kind of community. Lots of old buildings. Inundated with race fans thinking, what happened?
Yeah, I think we're maybe 30 or 40 minutes from the oldest bull ring in the world as well. So a lot of history in this part of the world.
Adamo continues to press Harup. Harup continues to hold on to that 4th place. And they're closing in on Thibault Benistant in 3rd at the moment. Harup still has a possibility of a podium here, because he's only on 33, DeWolf on 36, Adamo and Benistant on 38, and obviously Benistant just around the corner ahead of them. So if these two find their way past and Harup stays ahead, potentially there is a podium there to round out this season. I have to do the maths correctly in a moment, but at the moment, Adamo can't find his way past Harup. Harup can't quite get close enough to execute the move on the rider in blue there, Thibault Benistant, who's still hanging on to 3rd place.
Yeah, Adamo has that finish line section and through the first corner really figured out, but the next 2 or 3 corners, he's struggling a bit. So it's almost a yo-yo effect through there. I would love to see him try a different line. He's also not wanting to follow, not wanting to be roosted in those things too, but all the gains he makes, he gives back. You see him able to close it back up here, but...
That outside line's nice there as well. You get a lot of drive.
If he could stay on the rear wheel coming into these sections, he might be able to make a move.
Thibault Benistant has only had 2 podiums this year, came in as a potential favourite, certainly for top 3, potential world champion as well, but then he had that big crash in time practice at his home Grand Prix in France, round 7. Just the 2 podiums, a 2nd and a 3rd in successive rounds in Trentino in Portugal, and hasn't been anywhere near that in his return from injury. As we say, still trying to race himself into 100% fitness. Can he finish the season on a high here? It's going to be hard pressed to do that though, because this battle here is going to draw itself to the rear wheel of the Yamaha man. But look at Adamo, speed through here. He's already on the fat part of the tyre. He's hanging off the back of that Red Bull KTM. He wasn't close enough last time. He's not close enough on this occasion either. Can he cut back to the inside here on the exit of turn 2? Well, I thought about it, but then Harup just held it nice and tight. He had to get back off the gas and then swing to the outside. He's been quick up here though, but not on this occasion. A frustrated Adamo now, spending way too long behind Harup.
Yeah, this next left-right is where he struggled a bit. We'll see if he can stay close. Nice run through there. But coming down into this right, he's taken the 2nd to 3rd line and he's given up time. Harup will stay far to the inside. There you go. Adamo switches lines there. Finally, that was what I was looking for. He'd given up so much time. And he'll be quicker in this section, but he'd be so far back, he wouldn't have a chance to make a move. So this is the closest he's been.
And is he going to be close enough? Coming out of that long left.
Sweep around the outside here. This is an opportunity.
Oh, and Harap bobbles. He comes to a stop. A quick reaction there from Adamo, because he could have clattered into him, took them both down.
Really nice adjustment.
Adjustment.
But to be able to pivot,
jump
out of the rut and climb over that bump and make the pass, that's, you can tell he's locked in, right? Every reaction is quick right now. It's very easy in the, with a few laps left, a long season. It's the last GP of the year to kind of be going through the motions. So that's good to see. That's a really nice move.
Yeah, Adamo now up in the 4th place then with that. I don't know, that crazy move, that calculated move.
He took advantage of the mistake, and that's the thing, right? That's why you say don't ever follow, because had he been right there and not reacting, he would just run right into the back of him, and he'd still be behind him or on the ground.
Change up.
Yeah.
Adamo then up to 4th place.
That was for 2nd overall.
That's for 2nd overall this weekend. A 2-4 on the books. Puts himself 2 points clear of Thibault Benistant. Kaido Wolf is on 36 points. Watch this. Is this a replay coming up here? I think it might be. Just coming through the... Yeah, watch. Yeah, he did touch, didn't he, as he tried to get the other side. That was Harp just going a little bit tighter. And then watch this bobble here. Harp gets in, maybe just too hot, folded the front, and actually he turned off of his rear wheel and maybe the inside of his swinging arm. So
nice.
That was nice adjustment.
I love that he switched lines there. Every lap he would come through there, he'd give up, I don't know, half a second, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're battling, just trying to make a move everywhere, giving up half a second for no reason is a lot. So just shows where his head is, right? He's adjusting mid-moto. He's aware of where he's losing time. And hey, it's former world champion. You don't win those by accident.
Lucas Coenen heading towards the 1-lap board. He will pick up the Acerbis fastest lap of the weekend award as well, because his time in race 2 quicker than Kaido Wolf's time in race 1, which was in the 53s. Coenen at 52.316, so one more on the list, and that will give Lucas Coenen 8 Acerbis fastest laps for the season.
24 seconds out front. That's not too bad.
It's been the story of his weekend, hasn't it?
Yeah, he's been on a different level, and we know the challenge for DeWolf. He's not here to try to win the GP. He's here to try to win the World Championship, so it's not really a fair fight on that front, but yeah, Benistant maybe show him a wheel here.
1 lap to go, and the T-shirts are already out for Kaido Wolf and the Nistan Husqvarna fan club. Team and staff, mechanics, everybody, backroom, making their way down here to southern Spain. It doesn't matter if Benistant finds his way past him. He will still be crowned world champion here today. It's not quite a lap of honour. It would be if Benistant was about 10 seconds further back.
Yeah.
So he's still got to focus.
He's close. It wouldn't happen, but he's close to not even needing to finish at this point. They've lapped enough riders. It's far enough ahead, so all he's got to do here is just bring it home. Benistant is not a factor. But he's a racer, right? He doesn't want to let Thibault Benistant by.
He's going to be finishing a Nistan Husqvarna 1-2 in the final race of the season. It's going to be 1-2 in the overall World Championship, but it's going to be the 74 Kaido Wolf, who has led the World Championship since Spain, round 2. He has never let go of that championship leader's red plate. He will be turning that red to gold in just a few corners' time. All the heartbreak, all the pain, all the injuries of years gone by, whether in the European Championship classes, where he should have won titles, will all be flitted away. But look at the reaction from Lucas Coenen. He came, he saw, he conquered the MXGP of Castilla, La Mancha.
That kid
Another
loves winning.
golf swing.
He loves winning.
The kid loves winning. 18 race wins for the season. But it's only going to be good enough for second overall in the World Championship, because Kaido Wolf, he cannot believe it. He's already in tears underneath that helmet of his, surely. Out of the final turn, Kaido Wolf is the 2024 MX2 World Champion. And the emotion pours out. Happy birthday, Kaido Wolf. The best present he could have ever asked for. And it's pandemonium down there with the media, the fans, the orange flares. Kai de Wolf, take a bow. You are a world champion. Big hugs from the old man. And the relief, the outpour of emotion, finally setting in.
The constant stress he has felt every night going to bed of the pressure of winning this world championship, he doesn't feel it anymore now. That's the biggest thing for them now, is that stress and pressure relief.
Everybody trying to get in there. Lisa Leyland trying to get in there as well. It's like an apocalypse scene. Kai de Wolf, your 2024 MX2 FIM Motocross World Champion. Might take a while for the smoke screen to disperse, but the passionate Dutch fans, the Staan Husqvarna, have absolutely dominated the whole season in 2024. Team of the Year, World Champions, Husqvarna Manufacturers Champions in MX2. Doesn't get any bigger or better than that. What a day, what a year it has been for everybody associated with that team. Enjoy the moment. Here's Lisa with our new world champion, Kai de Wolf.
Kai de Wolf, you've held the red plate from day one. It was meant to be your year. You've turned that red plate into your very first MX2 world title. Happy birthday.
Yeah, it's amazing. On my birthday, so many emotions. This team, from the beginning on, 2018 when I was on the 85, they signed me, and they kept believing in me every single day. Went through 125s, EMX 250, and then into MX2, so it's been unreal, and I can't do it without this team. They did an amazing job. All my family, friends, everybody around me, I appreciate it so much, and yeah, we're gonna celebrate this one for sure.
Enjoy the moment, congratulations.
Kai de Wolf, your 2024 FIM MX2 Motocross World Champion. 11 race wins, 7 Grand Prix victories, 12 podiums in all. He maintained a cool composure when it mattered right here at the final round. He did all the hard work though with his consistency. Kai de Wolf, your 2024 World Champion. For Staan Husqvarna, his dreams finally come true on his birthday of all days here in Spain. Congratulations, Kai de Wolf, and everybody down there at Staan Husqvarna. We'll take out the race results, but JT, an emotional day. He's been with them since 2018 on 85s as well. That is, that's what you call coming full circle, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's such a great moment for him and his family, but also the team. You talk about that 6 years ago, they started investing and working towards this very moment. So this is a payoff. This is a reward for more than just Kai. Everybody that's been involved, Rasmus Jorgensen, the people behind the scenes, they've all been working to earn this.
Well, Lucas Coenen wins it comfortably, just as he did in race 1, with Kai de Wolf coming home in second, Benistant third, Adamo, Harp, Zanke, Prunier, Oliver, Langenfelder raceless, and McClellan just outside the top 10 with that 11th place. But the overall Grand Prix classification belongs to Lucas Coenen. He's Mr. Perfect once again in 2024 with 2 race wins, his 18th race win of the season to bring it home. Adamo second overall, just his 7th podium of the year. Benistant third, de Wolf the new world champion, 4th overall. He won't mind about that because the bigger picture coming into this weekend was to be crowned world champion. Langenfelder rounding out your top 5.
De Wolf will have his moment on the podium, don't you worry.
He will be there, collecting the gold plate alongside his teammate, alongside Simon Langenfelder. The world championship standings look like this then. Kai de Wolf, officially crowned world champion 2024, ahead of his Staan Husqvarna teammate Lucas Coenen, who pushed him all the way. And he had his fair share of success as well, don't forget. Langenfelder, your top 3. Everton Harp gets that 5th place in the World Championship for Monster Energy Triumph. No time to really celebrate. He'll try a little bit to celebrate because he's riding for Team Holland, the Netherlands next week at the Matterley Basin, 77th edition of the Monster Energy FI Motocross of Nations. Of course, JT will be there, I'll be there, the whole crew. You won't miss a single thing. And if you haven't bought the package for that one race, go ahead, go online, do it now, MXGP-TV.com, whatever you want, or buy the whole season if you like, and you get it included in that. But Husqvarna win, that was already a done deal. The manufacturer's classification, KTM second, Gas third. Then we've got Triumph, Yamaha, Honda, Kawasaki, Fantic. I believe there's TM there as well on page 2. But what a day to come out and go racing as a fan as well. You know, to see world champions being crowned in MX2. We've seen the 250 European Championship crown and the 125 presented by FMF. And we've still got one to go. 4 titles on the final day of the season. I can't remember the last day that happened.
Well, I hope they all celebrate a lot. I may buy a round of beers for every rider here just to set the tone for next weekend. Don't worry about Motocross of Nations. It'll take care of itself. But, you know, being serious, what a day for DeWolf. And, you know, Lucas Coenen should hold his head high. Incredible year. He showed so much promise moving forward and came up short. But I think everybody understands that he is a serious competitor moving forward.
And great for Thibault Benistant as well. Rounding out 3rd overall at the final Grand Prix, just his 3rd podium of the season. He'll be pleased with that, but these celebrations, I mean, they're Dutch, most of them. There'll be some Belgish in there as well. They know how to enjoy a cerveza or two.
As I was told once, you ain't Dutch, you ain't much.
Yeah. Take a look at the Fox holeshot then, the final one of the season, and it was the new world champion, Kai de Wolf, over the Fox holeshot line for just the 3rd time this season. He won't care about that. But the local Fox dealer there on hand to deliver the new world champion. His last Fox holeshot black plate in MX2. Rumours are that he could be going MXGP next year, but if that's the case, then that will be the last black plate for him. Otherwise, there's plenty more in the offing as an MX2 rider. Of course, no official PRs coming out yet, just paddock rumour and all the rest of it, as always. But if he does vacate as a new world champion, then congratulations.
Surprising hole shot there.
Yes.
I would not have guessed that.
3rd overall, Thibault Benistant, Monster Energy Yamaha Factory Racing. He'll be up there. He'll enjoy that, but he's probably up there as well thinking, you know, it's a year, a missed opportunity. Could have been going for the championship. Andrea Adamo, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, 2nd overall for the Italian, just for the 5th time this year. And then Astana Husqvarna of Lucas Coenen on the top step again. His 10th career Grand Prix victory, his 9th of the season. And Lucas Coenen,
he's going to look back and think what could have been. There's no question.
Team owner there, Kai Hennekens. Don't see him up there too often, maybe once or twice this year, but the team owner there for Astana Husqvarna Factory Racing. Good to see him at the podium and getting to enjoy the moment. Thibault Benistant, 3rd overall this weekend. Monster Energy Yamaha Factory Racing at Castilla, La Mancha. A great way for him to round out the season. 2nd overall, Andrea Adamo, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. Probably have bigger trophies at school, boys.
Yeah, but it doesn't pay as well.
Lucas Coenen, your overall Grand Prix winner for Astana Husqvarna Factory Racing. What a year it's been for him on a personal level. 18 race wins, 9 Grand Prix victories, 13 podiums for the season. Kai Hennekens, the team owner. What a day, what a season it's been for him and everybody in the backroom staff.
Dominant.
Absolutely dominant. 1st and 2nd in the world. They've led more laps. They've led almost 60% of the laps coming into this final round between the two of them. They'd held so many poles and everything else. Kai de Wolf, Astana Husqvarna Factory Racing. He may have missed the podium overall, but his presence is very much felt as the new world champion. Gold helmet in hand. Takes his space on the podium alongside the team owner, the guy that brought him in here. There's a young kid in the 85cc category. He receives the gold plate. It's been red since round 2. It's gold here at the final round. Kai de Wolf your new world champion in MX2. Mr. Antonio Patella there, the FIM CMS director. For this weekend, though, Lucas Coenen, the top step, the national anthem for Belgium. Your top three overall here this weekend, the final Grand Prix of 2024 in MX2, Castilla, Mancha in Spain. Lucas Coenen, Andrea, Adamo, Thibault, Benistant. But it was also the final round of the championship, so it was medals to be dispatched as well. Kai de Wolf, Lucas Coenen, Simon Langenfelder, they will take to the podium in a few moments' time to receive their medals. But Lucas Coenen, what a day he's had here in the sun in Spain. You can hear the atmosphere building as well. They like the fact that a world champion has just been crowned. The Spanish, they are anticipating a big moment in the career of Jorge Prado, potentially here, because he is on the verge as well of picking up a world title, and it will go absolutely off the scale if he is to win. With this atmosphere,
well, they're getting to watch the Dutch party. They want to party too.
Exactly.
Right? They're hoping an hour away from it.
Simon Langenfelder, Red Bull Gas Factory Racing, third overall in 2024, his third successive bronze medal. We spoke about it on the studio show yesterday. Maybe there should have been a bit more, but David Carli said injuries along the way kind of just halted his progress a little bit. The two Nistan Husqvarna factory riders, Lucas Coenen, second overall in the World Championship, and the new world champion, Kai de Wolf, as Antonio Portela hands out the third place medal to Simon Langenfelder. It's all over, bar the Motocross of Nations.
Yeah. And Langenfelder, I really think he could be a factor for the World Championship next year. He stays healthy, he gets in the fight, he is capable.
Lucas Coenen, second overall, his best finish in MX2, just his second year. Kai de Wolf, the maturity outweighing the relative sort of lack of experience, if you like, that youth. But I think we'll see a different Lucas Coenen next year, and one that'll be more believing that that title, that world championship, is a possibility.
He was a believer today.
He was, absolutely, and he has been on, what, 7 or 8 occasions where he's gone 1-1. Your top three in 2024, Kai de Wolf, Lucas Coenen, and Simon Langenfelder. The first one to leave, Lucas Coenen. Here's what happened then, the final race of the year. A better start for Kai de Wolf compared to race one. How much better? Well, he came away with his third Fox holeshot in the final race of the season. He knew exactly what he had to do. His teammate was right there behind him. And as long as de Wolf was right there, he could control the narrative from there on out. Didn't matter if Coenen went by him. And when he did take over the lead, Kai de Wolf just was able to sit there and control everything else behind him. And it all came from this move here. Coenen down the inside. From that moment, de Wolf went into safety mode.
Cheeky little look from Coenen, right? You can tell their championship settled, but not in Coenen's mind, right? That critical mistake there from Langenfelder through a podium finish.
Yeah, he went down to 11th and he came back to 9th. Oriol Oliver under pressure from Ferruccio Zanchi. Zanchi going through for 6th place. Zanchi coming home in 6th place as well. There was a few more position changes on the cards as well, because Adamo working his way up to an eventual 4th place finish. This move on the 47 of Raceless, and then just ahead of him, his main rival for 5th in the championship, Mikkel Harp, and that was the pass for 4th on the final couple of laps there on the Dane. But Harp would have the last lap. Lucas Coenen getting the fans all in a frenzy as he celebrated with 3 wins here this weekend. We are going to take a quick break, though. Kai de Wolf crossed the line to be crowned MX2 World Champion. We'll be back in 10 seconds' time. MXGP Race 2, the final race of the year. We'll see you then.